Hi everyone, welcome back to another learning session. In this video, we will talk about DOM and we will try to understand it in simple language with simple examples. I'm sure that after watching the video, you will have complete understanding of DOM and what it really means. I have created a simple HTML file, and when I open this HTML file in a browser, the browser will need to load it into the memory first. But how should browser load it into the memory in such a way that it can be manipulated? And we also want some standards of loading and accessing this HTML so that we get consistent behavior across all the browsers. Without any standards, different browsers can have different ways of loading and accessing the HTML. The DOM defines a standard for accessing documents, and we load the HTML file or a web page as DOM. A DOM is an object-oriented representation of the web page as tree structure, wherein each node is an object representing a part of the document. We can also say that the DOM represents a document with a logical tree. In this picture, which I have taken from the Wikipedia page of Document Object Model, we can see that the root element of the document is the HTML file, and the HTML element has two children, head and body. Head has further children and body has further children. Now that we have the basic understanding of document object model, let's try to convert the HTML file that we have created to a document object model that the browser loads. So I'm going to add a comment first because we will write the DOM structure here. So this is our document object model, and the root element of this is the HTML. So HTML. Now HTML has two children, head and style. So we would type head and body. Sorry, style is the children of head. So head has one children, style, and style has this text. So we would type in here text is equal to h1 and so on. Now let's go to body. Body has one and two children. So the first children is the h1 tag, and the second is this div tag or div element. So div. Now this id is the attribute of this div element. So attribute is id and the value of id is text id. The children of this div is another div. So children of this div is another div, and the text is today we will learn DOM. So today we will learn DOM, and the text of h1 is DOM tutorial. So I would just type DOM tutorial is the text. So that's it. We have created the document object model theoretically without having to look into browser and how it loads. Now that we know what is DOM, the next question comes up, how we can access this DOM? And the answer to it is JavaScript. So I would write the script tag here and just type console.log document, and this document represents the document object model that we are accessing through JavaScript. Next question that will come up in our mind is, who provides this document object? How is this document object available to us, or the DOM available to us? And the answer to it is DOM API, which is one of the web APIs offered by the browser. With this document object or the methods available on this document object, we can modify this HTML. And let's say if we want to keep track of a counter, and whenever we click anywhere on this HTML document, we want to increment that counter. We can do so with the help of the methods provided by this document object, which is also known as DOM API. So I'm going to add another div element, div id equal to counter, and this is where we keep track of all the counter. and I'm going to add var counter equal to 0, and I want to add an event listener to this document, which is the entire HTML page. So document.add event listener, and then the first one is the type of event. The first parameter to this method is the type of event. So click. And the second parameter or the argument to this method is the callback function that you want to execute after this event has been occurred. So I would write a function and I would give document dot get element by ID, and this is how you access any element by ID. So ID is counter, so if I type counter here, this would give me this div element, and then I want to set the text, inner text is equal to plus plus counter. That's it. Now let's try it in the browser. So I have opened this HTML file and I'm going to open the developers tool first. So I will come here, and I'm not seeing any option here because I have opened Microsoft Edge, but if you type F12, it should open the developer console. And as we can see here that we are printing the document object model here. And if I click anywhere on this document, we can see here that the counter is getting incremented. Now, if you want to access the DOM properly within the browser, you can go to this sources tab and then go to watch, and then I'll get rid of this one, type document, and this should give you the document object model. So if you expand it, you should see that it has one children, which is the root element HTML. The HTML should have two children, head and body. The body has children, four children, h1, div, counter, and the script, the JavaScript tag that we have added, and this should have further children. So this is a very simple way to learn document object model, and I would recommend that you play around with this document object. If you have Microsoft Visual Studio Code, you can just type document and then dot and then press Control and space, and it would list all the methods available on this document object along with the description. Till you are comfortable with the concept of DOM, I would also recommend that you write this document object model theoretically. And this will give you a much better understanding of what is DOM and how it is loaded in the browser. Before wrapping it up, I would request you all to share this video with others if you find it useful. If you have any comments or questions, please share it through comment box below, and I will see you in the next video.